Nose. Guys, exciting times. I'm excited. Our sister just came back from the Detroit, and I think that what is exciting, in fact, Nozi should have actually popped in to tell us how Detroit was. The IWF leadership program. Yes, we saw the stories, girl. We saw the stories. Thank you for representing, and I hope that it's been so good to you as much as it has been in your stories, glancing what you've been up to with lots of powerful women. Hello, everybody. I also wish Nozi was here, but it's a takeover. I trust in my sister's work, and I hold space. We hold space for each other, right? This is a definition of holding space. As much as she's back, but a girl needs some rest, and she also needs to, do many other things that have been waiting for her while she's in the program. Welcome back nonetheless. Nozi, I hope that you guys will be able to get time to catch up on the previous master mentorship that was done last week. Mind-blowing. And you know where to catch that on YouTube. Just camp there. You're in for a treat. Today we're going to be unpacking, I don't know about kick-ass, but I was told how to become a kick-ass public speaker. So by virtue of this title or this theme, it means I'm kicking ass. Humbly so, I am honored to have been tasked with this topic, and I think that it's going to be quite exciting. So just to set the tone, I don't even want to waste time because I know that 40 minutes is short. I don't even want to stretch it too long because I want this session to be quite impactful, and I don't want it to be too much information overload. I've had a long day also. I also do have young children, so I do want to share with you guys my journey and just the tips and tricks of how to navigate public speaking. I am Londiwe Ngcobo. Some would call me the Black Mermaid. Some refer to me as Captain Londiwe. So my background is in oceans economy. I'm a ship navigational officer by profession. I drive ships and have since started my consulting firm in oceans economy. I also am a founder of Global Maritime Youth. And with the journey that I have walked has come public speaking. And this started in 2014 when I became Africa's first. Prior to that, it was really informal, very much on just talking about my career. And I had to just dig much deeper with time to say, what am I saying to the people? And why do they keep calling me back? Why do they keep calling me back? And so it became quite a journey for me, trying to navigate, what am I saying to people? Am I talking about my story? Am I flexing my talents? Or am I advocating? And that's what I have tried to navigate. And today, Nozi calls me, come and speak about how to become a kick-ass public speaker. So guys, I don't have it figured myself, but I'm here to share with you my journey thus far. It's been 5 minutes in. I do want to start to get the ball rolling. And aloha. I do want to get the ball rolling, and please engage with me as much as you can. Let's connect. Let's unpack things together. Let's try to navigate the thing together. I'm no expert. It's just one of the things that I do in my life, which is public speaking, amongst many other hats that I wear. So Nozi has built quite a cult, quite a tribe, quite a community. So I am slightly intimidated because you guys are for your mentorship Mondays, and I have missed a few, but so do bear with me as I hold space for the sister. Just hold space for me too. Alrighty, let's kickstart and unpack public speaking. I think maybe it will be fitting for us to just unpack public speaking. And many people I have found including myself in the beginning. It was a thing of, oh, so-and-so speaks nicely, or wow, there should be money in this, or hey, I want recognition. And there's a lot of mistakes that are made at the beginning of a public speaking journey. And so I think it's very important for us to be able to define it in one way or the other. And if you can, please feel free to just share with us what exactly it means to you. What does public speaking mean to you? And as we unpack the topic, we will learn from each other. Like I said, I'm no expert, and I wish that we can feed off each other. I see a lot of people and new faces, and the faces that I know are popping in. Yes, once again, I'm holding space for Nosy, as she has just come back from her IWF leadership program in Detroit. And yeah, so let's jump right in. I think that public speaking is quite key in several ways. And I think that maybe the more we understand the importance of it, the less we would have or overthink it. I think that effective communication is vital. Effective communication is vital in conveying our thoughts, our ideas, our messages to larger audiences. It's quite important when you want to have that effective communication skill that you consider public speaking. It helps us to be able to navigate our journeys professionally and navigate social interactions. I think that will be my number one. Public speaking is also important in just being able to influence and persuade, for persuasion and influence. Being able to speak confidently, persuasively. You can influence other people's opinions through public speaking. You can influence decision making through public speaking. It's a valuable skill to have, particularly when you speak of influence and persuasion. We then speak of careers like sales, marketing, leadership, advocacy. So shifting from the gram and saying, I want to be a public speaker. What are you influencing? What are you trying to persuade? Who are you trying to persuade? So are you in sales? Are you a leader? So I think I want us to unpack that also. What other aspects of public speaking are there? Career advancement. So if you want to advance your career, public speaking is quite important. So we now talk of people who sought after advancing their careers in the workspace. We talk of people like maybe certain employees that want to communicate effectively with their colleagues, with their clients, with their supervisors, and most likely just people who want to advance their careers. So that's also quite key. When we look at public speaking, I've also realized, having founded Global Maritime Youth, my foundation, Global Maritime Youth has opened so many eyes for me. Like I started with just saying, okay, this is facilitating skills, supply and demand. And now I'm sitting here with the youth that looks for employment opportunities, business opportunities, but they can't speak. So public speaking also is also crucial in trying to educate individuals. So it's quite vital in education and learning. So it's a key component. It's quite key in just education overall. So students get to develop their confidence when they pitch for jobs, when they pitch for businesses, when they go to interviews. This was mind-blowing to me because I never thought of it that way, because when you think public speaking, you think, okay, public speaking, a mic, and So this has been very important for me to see and witness, because I've been able to then say, from my programs in Global Maritime Youth, my foundation, I can then add work readiness program, and work readiness programs will include public speaking. And this is not to say kids want to make money out of it, but they just want to be more confident in trying to pursue their dreams, in trying to sit in interviews, and just through different engagements. I also think that we also need to unpack just the simple aspects of public speaking in building confidence. Some people really don't want to make money out of public speaking. Some don't even care about larger audiences, and which is so solid. Sometimes it's only just simply to build that confidence and just overcoming that fear of public speaking. You know, you get an opportunity to go and represent an organization, and you don't know how to do public speaking or how to speak with a larger audience, and so it's important to be able to uphold the organization, uphold the role that or the seat that you feel at the time. Boosting that self-confidence is important, and as individuals we gain experience and proficiency in public speaking through just engaging with people. You know, ukushayela nje to begin with, that's asking someone out and just asking for to go on a date, you know, just building that confidence. That is public speaking, and sometimes we may just, you know, have a blind eye to it. And so just navigating that life, you know, to say, I feel more confident, I feel more self-assured in all aspects of my life. That requires public speaking. I think that if we can unpack it a bit further, you will then see that it's really not that deep. It's our everyday navigating of life. And then it goes to advocacy and activism. Politics, that's public speaking. So if someone wants to advocate for a certain cause or raise an awareness or mobilize a certain cohort, mobilization of like the social immobilization, support for social, political issues, advocacy and activism through and through public speaking. So if you then now sit and say, I stand for something, you will need to be able to articulate that something. And with time, I then realized, oh, hey, wait a minute, I have a nice story to share to the people. I became Africa's first female dredge master. But with that, I'm intentionally not being the last. So I need to start advocating more for inclusivity, for diversity, to be more to represent more female participation in oceans economy. There's only 2% of female participation in oceans economy. So by virtue of being in the industry, being in the public eye, I can advocate for change that I want to see. And so that's a beautiful aspect of public speaking. Just to maybe highlight another one is very light, and that's simply networking. You know, people who get social anxieties that just, you like, oh, we are bored, now those people often are suffering from social anxieties. And those people need to sort of embark into a journey of public speaking where they are able to navigate the opportunities they get to socialize with people, to network with people so they can advance their careers, advance themselves, advance just their lifestyle, you know. So it's important to connect with people with such. And networking is very key. Some people have been placed in big rooms, but because they're not exposed to public speaking, they're unable to socialize. So where you have an opportunity to connect with like-minded people, and you just blank. You just like, I know what I want from this person. I know how I want to navigate this conversation, but I just can't open my mouth. So that is public speaking on the spot. Personal growth. So in order to be able to break certain boundaries within your career, in order to be able to develop resilience, to learn new skill, you have to know public speaking. Personal growth requires you to be much bolder, and that will have to sometimes come with public speaking. The list is endless. And I think that the more we unpack this, then maybe there will be less expectation of monetizing, even though you can't crack the industry. But maybe you can just start scaling yourself in that. Okay, wait a minute. Should I get an opportunity to facilitate a conference at work? Am I ready? Should I ask or like a girl? Am I ready to ask them out? Should a friend call me out for a big networking session? Will I be able to close a deal? Will I be able to network? Should I get a role in sales? should I finally get into that leadership role that I've been looking for, will I be able to uphold a conversation and uphold the organization? So please engage with me. Tell me how you're feeling. Do you understand how we've unpacked public speaking overall? I want to know what's your expectation and where do you think you fit in all of this, because I don't want us to keep boxing people in that when they want to talk or hear about public speaking, they want to monetize, they want to be the next big public speaker. Sometimes it's really about personal growth, networking, career advancement, etc., etc. Alrighty. Anyone who's here that knows me personally, anyone who's here that follows me, send me love, send me love. I'm pouring my heart out here. And I want to just make sure that we are connecting. Would you ever have an online course on public speaking? So I've been asked a lot about this, and I think that I am now considering, because I get a lot of DMs, a lot of people asking me about public speaking. So, my team did say that we need to formalize it. And because one gets very busy, I get quite overwhelmed. And so I need to be able to scale. For me, public speaking remains a talent of mine. However, I run a consulting firm in Oceans Economy. That is my priority, my first love. And I think that my answer is yes. My answer is yes. I am considering packaging a public speaking course, a manual that will just be like an easy ABC navigating of public speaking. But let me share something with you that might help us today. I want us to talk about just understanding this concept of public speaking. And I've prepared, just pictures, really, not even slides, but pictures to make it more compelling. Let's start with the importance of the story. So once you've identified your why, once you've identified why do you want to do public speaking, is it because you really have this girl that you've been liking or wishing to take on a date? Or is it because you really think that you have a talent in it and want to groom the talent? Or is it because you really are climbing the corporate ladder but aren't confident when it comes to presenting yourself or your expertise in the larger crowd? So where it all begins is with a story. And that's why I shared the importance of understanding different reasons why one would embark in public speaking. So why? Why is it? And for me, it started with just understanding where it all begins. Where it began is with a young girl who's now a ship captain, who now is a public speaker, who now is a managing director for a big consulting firm, and now is a founder, a mentor. So this then ties up and grounds me often. It ties up and grounds me often, so that even on the socials, when you see someone speak, you understand their voice and you're like, but my voice is here. So where it begins is when I then became Africa's first female Dredge Master. A lot of noise came, media came, a lot of noise came. So I would be asked to be on certain covers. I would be asked to be on certain photo shoots. I was called on different platforms to speak my story, tell me what, media is always looking for new content, new and fresh stories to tell. And mine became appealing. And so with that, did it land on solid grounds? No. So I ended up answering to everything. And I would be in rooms where I don't even think that I should be in. But I would get there and authentically share my story. Now, the interesting thing is that feedback then comes to say, hey, you're a good storyteller. You tell your story very well. And then with time, I understood that, okay, so I've got something here. So I had to tie it up with where I come from. Where my childhood activities around my talents, around just the person that I am, that would want or propel me to keep showing up and telling the story. Where it then proceeded to become is when I became a mentor to so many young kids that say, Sis Londi, thank you for making it visible. Sis Londi, I want to be like you. then I knew I needed to show up a bit more. But with showing up in different platforms, I then started being seen by lots of corporates, lots of event organizers, lots of people just, I suppose, appreciating my energy, appreciating the story holistically. So understand why you want to be in the public speaking space, and understand where it comes from, what anchors you. Why do you still need to show up? So that even in the larger rooms of intimidating crowds, you're able to stand firm in your anchors and remember your why. And I then want to share with you just the importance of understanding where we'd all come to. I say the way to your audience, the way to your audience heart is through a good story. And a good story is cultivated. You don't have to have gone through the worst of times. You don't have to have gone through tragic incidents in your life. You just need to be able to sit with yourself so that your story can be so compelling and it can touch the heart. And that way you'll be able to navigate your audience. That way you'll be able to share beyond the theme for the day, and be able to advocate for the change you want to see. I also find that stories have gone past the once upon a time, happily ever after of a good book. Stories now come very bare, very vulnerable, and if you follow me, you will know bareness is me. I am bareness, vulnerability on the table through and through. And so you will find me in a roller coaster of emotions with every conversation that I have, with every public speaking space that I have. So the good book of Once Upon a Time has sort of passed, and so this now has to come through captivating the moment. It has to come with holding the attention way after you've done talking. When you've done your talk, are people still thinking about you? Are people still thinking about you? What did you land on the platform? How have you challenged? What has been your call to action? Have you captivated the emotion? Why would we call you back? And so that's why with me, guys, I got tired of telling my story. I got tired of, I became Africa's first female, whatever. I'm a ship navigational officer. I needed to come with much more depth and more call to action. But I think that it's important for everyone to, again, this is mine, but for everyone to understand who they are on the platform. So take that step back. Why? Is it networking? Is it advancing career? Is it because of talent? And then come back to the anchor, where it all begins. A pink ship to me that I shared with you is from truly being a 14-year-old, having good maths and science, sitting with my dearest diary and realizing that, hey, actually I'm a Pisces. I want to go on the ships. And then unfolded, the story became to today. So the way it started, I still memorize, I still visualize myself sitting there. Now, let's talk about you having identified your why, coming back to your understanding of what anchors you to come and show up, what interests you to speak. I call this the brand archetype. Often, when you've embarked the journey of becoming a public speaker, you will be derailed a lot, because the more you start getting more visibility, more callbacks, you will start questioning yourself. What are they seeing? What are they seeing that they keep calling back? What are they seeing that I'm so in demand? What are they seeing? And with that, you will start shifting your eyes from where it begins, which is your pink ship, to now, why are they saying, how can I remain relevant? And I think that it's very important to understand your brand archetype. And I got to understand the brand archetypes through a visit that I had in the Netherlands. And it was a short course that was done while I was still at IHC shipping. And I was blown away by just how they unpacked the program. And so I just thought, you know what, I'm going to share this with you guys today because it just makes complete sense to me. It forever will be, because to date, it helps me navigate the different kinds of speakers, and it brings me home often. Archetypes. What's your brand voice? Why? What is your voice? What is your positioning? So what kind of audience are you looking for? What kind of audience would be fitting for you? You know, and the aesthetics, obviously, of your brand. And that comes through social media, through marketing, etc., etc. So work with me. I wish that after this, you can be able to identify, I have prepared for you archetypes for your own understanding. I wish that you can be able to unpack 2 of your archetypes that I've prepared today. So I'm going to dive right in with these archetypes, and let's go for it. See, my phone is falling here. All right. So I want to ask, I see questions, but I really don't want to run out of time. I really don't want to go over time, because I just want to unpack what I've prepared for you. And if you have any further questions, you can always DM, you can always share on the comments once we've uploaded this. Okay, all right. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna answer because I really want us to do the archetypes. I think that if we have to achieve anything at all, it will be just to understand this. Archetypes. Okay. We have the outlaw. And guys, if you are still on board, please identify 2 of you on the archetypes that I've prepared. The outlaw. This is a person who breaks rules. This person breaks rules. So his voice will be more of this is now him on stage. He's disruptive, he's very rebellious, and he's very combative. And I think this kind of person is the kind of person that just comes on board and says, rules are made to be broken. This is a person who breaks rules. You will often see, and if you want to come on board with the outlaw, just as we continue to unpack the archetypes, maybe you can then share who of the public speakers that you know is this kind of archetype. So the outlaw, are you the outlaw? Because if you're an outlaw, then you get on stage and you say, well, when I was in a law firm, they told me that you can't come at work wearing sneakers. The first thing that I did was wear sneakers. So that's the kind of speaker that breaks rules, okay? So maybe let's move on to the next archetype. And this kind of archetype would be a magician. Magician is very mystical. A magician is very informed and reassured. These are the kind of people that will come to you and they break rules, but silently they break rules. Oh, I love that you Sage already. I love Sage also. They remind me of Oprah. And then these kind of people, they be very mystical, informed, and reassuring. It can happen. So these are the kind of people that you want to outlaw is Julius Malema. I love that. So I think that the magician, listen, watch this. If you ever share a panel discussion with a magician, these are the kind of people that are very silent when they come speak to you, when they share the stage with you. They'll be very silent, very well put together. And then if you slip up, they will come with one question that will throw you off your game completely. So know the magician up front. Be able to engage with the magician, because then you can be able to meet at a level where the magician is on board with you. So he won't trick you with questions. Otherwise, I still highly promote authenticity. But there's just that element of magicians that they bring to just add flavor. Like when you say 14 years ago and you've missed a year, they said, but this was in 2009. How old were you? You know? And then they challenge you to like think now, how old was I? You know? So these are the magicians. So watch out for the magicians. And if you're a magician, be able to know yourself in the room. Be able to share a room with other kind of archetypes also. I love that there's someone who's been here and has been part of my share with the some of these talks. For archetypes. So the hero, guys. At first, I was a hero, and then with time, I changed. But now I'm back to being a hero. I will share later what. So for the hero, this is all about mastery. This is where there's a way, there's a will. You can see her. She's a black female in a male-dominated industry. She's a firefighter. This woman is very honest, very candid, and very brave. So these are the kind of women that are quite frank, but that hurricane, silent hurricane, and then they would come to you and tell you fascinating stories about how they conquered the mountains, how they fought the fires that killed 90 people. So the hero is someone who's quite assured in themselves, in that where there's a will, there's a will, there's a way. I hope that someone identifies with the hero. And then we also have the lover. These are the people that are quite intimate. Intimacy is all they have. They are loving. I only have eyes for you. So these are the people who are very sympathetic, very sensual, very soothing, and very loving. So these are the kind of people that will get on stage and talk about, Malala, of course. Oh, I love that. Of course. These are the people who will come for a good cause. These are the people who will come quite silent and very caring. These are the people who will elevate CSI. Amzi, are you the lover? Okay. These are the people who will talk mostly about saving the environment. The people that will come and tell you about a young girl in Africa that did A, B, and C, and the people that adopted 7 children because of their trip to Madagascar, and this is what happened. So there's a lover in all of us, but there's always a dominant, a dominating archetype. So I feel, and with time, I've seen a lot of people on stage, and there's love somewhere there, even through an outlaw, like you say, Malema. There's love somewhere there. I've gotten to be able to unpack that we all have this in us, one way or the other. I also love that you understand this, and I will most certainly pose a question to anyone who's still here to share their too. This is the jester. The jester, they're fun to share stage with. They are fun to have in the holding room. They are just, you want to be in their energy, because these are the people that will say, oh yeah, they called me last night. So I was just like, yeah, of course I'll show up. Of course I'll come for this. Meanwhile, you're nervous. Now you're like, oh my gosh, I'm about to go up next. And they're like, don't worry, you kick ass, So these are the kind of people that, they're just always playful. Everything is possible. They are loving. They will get on stage with their sneakers and say, so, how was last night's cocktail dinner? Hey, you woke up. I thought you were not going to be able to wake up after those after those shooters last night. So often I never go to clients' cocktail dinners, especially if I'm going to be speaking the following day. Never. That's not me. You won't find me there. You may find me for drinks after the event. If I'm still there, I'll definitely be there. But the night before, no thank you. Because often corporates want to have fun, and I don't want to be observing protocol, hardly do anyway. I don't want to be sitting there and thinking, oh, Mr. CEO, oh, Mrs. CEO, ish, yeah, ne. That I will, after that, Jägermeister. So the jester is that kind of person. Fun. Don't worry, you will kick. And then you walk out the stage, you're like, how did I do? Oh my gosh, that was crazy. It's like, girl, what was that? My goodness, you badass. So I love the jester, and I always am able to see the jester. And I know a couple of professional public speakers that I just love. I love being around. I think sometimes we overlap and have some traits of each. Absolutely, and that's why I'm saying, Pume, please choose 2 that are more you, because I know my 2, and I've outgrown the others, and I've embarked on others. I've touched on others, and it's all trial and error. But definitely, the overlap is there, but it's not even an overlap. It's just you through and through. It's just a matter of navigating, pun intended, navigating the two. Okay, well, I just only made it two for now. And then we have the everyday man. Oh, the everyday man, guys, is just that kind of person that will come and give you a sense of belonging. This, if you are in leadership, this is the kind of person that will come on board and say, well, I know it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy. We've gone past COVID, but we were able to make this much turnover. I want to assure you that even I am a leader. I'm just as scared as you are. My logic is out the window, just like yours is. I don't have it all figured, but I want to assure you that we'll figure it out together. This guy, these kind of people have a very strong leadership trait. They have a belonging demeanor in them. It's unquestionable. They're humble, they're friendly, and they're quite authentic. They will tell you that they don't know what they're doing. They will tell you that they trust your feedback. These are the kind of people that I often think have done well through hard times because they're able to use their resources and their teams. Okay, and then we will have the caregiver. So a caregiver is similar to the lover. All about, now we talk about, in Oceans Economy, we talk about green shipping. And Dr. Spilile is happy with the everyday man. Oh, I see that. Okay, that maybe is you. I think, okay, so let's come back to the caregiver. Guys, I'm so passionate about this topic. I think I'm going to derail a lot, but I really want us to finish the archetypes. But yes, please keep sharing. Service. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. You will find these kind of public speakers as bishops, as pastors, as reverends, as abafundisi. And these are the people that have a deep sense of religion. They have a deep sense of care. They just care. So they get on stage, even if they meant to empower their youth, then you find them lingering towards what's your upbringing. Let me tell you about the word. So priests are public speakers. Pastors are public speakers. And I think that these people are just, it's pretty obvious to me. And if you are that, sometimes you may have a little bit of an overlap. I know some friends of mine who are gifted or who have a calling in ministry. They definitely, even when they meant to unpack, I don't know, maybe a corporate theme, they will often gravitate to the word, often gravitate to religion, often gravitate to the anchors, and etc., etc. So these are the kind of public speakers that we will call it caregiver. So if you go on Sunday, then you know what your pastor is, what your pastor's archetype is. The ruler. Woo! Hey guys, I love the ruler. You know what the ruler does? The ruler will get into a platform and they are sharing a stage and they will get there and dominate. They will get there and sound or seem like a teacher's pet or someone who's got it figured, or someone, even though they have a section of their own, they would feel that they need to communicate their message throughout the panel discussion. And that's dangerous. So although they may be dangerous in that sharing a stage with, they are very important within organizations because they're able to clean things up as public speakers who have a ruler archetype. Power is everything. It's the only thing. They matter, but they may sometimes overstep their boundaries. They may sometimes intimidate their core panelists. They're very commanding, very refined, and quite articulate. Let's talk about articulation. Yo, guys. Let's talk about this, the eloquence of other public speakers. Let me tell you something. Call me out any day. I went to all black schools. Ngifunde sithengile, ngafunda ekujabuleni. I could barely construct an English sentence. I then just fell in love with my industry that exposed me to just only being able to work with global or different kinds of backgrounds and got to be well traveled. So I had to learn the language. I can say that I can speak English, but I will not try to be something that I am not. Call me out any day when you hear me say but anyways, but just say sengile. But with that, I've tried to make my voice projectable. I've tried to make my message projectable and understandable. I've tried to clarify my intentions, and I've tried to walk my intentions. And so with my presentations, you'll see a lot of pictures that will make more compelling my story, You will also see me prepare less because it will kill the story if you try to be something that you're not. People can read right through you. Oh my gosh, they can. One moment I say I can't swim, but I'm black. I grew up in this, and then I never did this. The next thing, I come on board and show a different kind of... It is so attractive to be you. Even throwing that slang on stage, even throwing that vernacular on stage. It's inviting. It's compelling. So that is why I'm saying the ruler must never intimidate you. Ever. Must never be intimidated by their ruler. And remember, they matter in the room. They are their own people, but they matter in the room. You add your flavor. You're never intimidated. You remain authentic because that is who you are. And that is your brand. Guys, as you navigate public speaking, please, 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 stay true to what is you. Stay true to what anchors you. It's so, so attractive to be you. Thank you, Tabis. It is attractive to be you. I've often found that even when I share that I come from from Ecklemont Township, and people hear me talk about these deep things in oceans economy, they see that I am well rooted in oceans economy. I understand my numbers. I'm able to articulate my story better. I'm able to captivate the audience. I'm able to play with certain words. When someone comes to me and they're like, how, Mkaya, how, Clemente, how, and that, imagine if I was intimidated by the ruler's eloquence. It's never about the accent, but the context. Content overpowers everything in the end, says a proud English teacher. Yes, girls, pumezondo, be yourself. Yes, prom. All right, I want us to move on to this. Yeah, if you're a ruler, let us know. And if you ever share a stage with the ruler, respect. Don't ever be intimidated, and remember they matter. All right, the innocent. You know when you go to a photo shoot and you just finally get to see a person that you've been wanting to see, only to find that they are just a safe space. And often these people will be like, oh my gosh, I finally met the captain. She's actually so cool. I finally met the black mermaid. Oh my gosh, how can now? So you will see that a lot in people just in general. And I have found that there is the lover and there is safety, one way or the other. You don't want to cross your boundaries there, but you will often see safety in every individual once you've been able to get into a space of networking beyond the course of the day, beyond what you like, that photo shoot or whatever. So the safety, the innocent says life is simple and simplicity is elegant. You will come through and see these people, even when they're nervous. They sit there, they're like, yeah, I did touch on this. Do they ask this also? Okay, well, that's interesting. Okay, but they they say it with elegance. With elegance. They're quite regal and quite elegant. And I want to associate people like these with Connie Ferguson. I shared a stage with her once, and we sat in the holding room, and she was nervous, but would tell me like, sure, yeah, no, I know, and we connected at that level. I found so much safety around her in that regard. I've shared a stage. Okay, Ntando Gunene is that kind of innocent safety, elegant, simple, crazy but subtle, and those are the kind of people that I would associate this archetype with. There's many, guys. There's many. But without wasting more time, if you find yourself to be that, you are so important, because you bring that calmness before we go up on stage. You bring that, Right. Moving on to, I think someone mentioned sage. I think that it is so important. Okay, for me, it was very easy to see a person behind this. I just found Oprah behind this. I found Brené Brown behind this. I also found SJR behind this. Sage is very understanding. Sage believes that the truth will set you free. Sage is knowledgeable. They're quite assured, and they're guiding. So these are very wise people, These are very wise people in that way. You are when you in the space around their aura, you will often talk less about the cause of the day, but more about life problems. More about life problems, and they will sit and understand and hold your hand and advise, and they're just there. You'd even think that they've got it all figured. Meanwhile, they don't. But absolutely, Pume, Jay Chetty is sage through and through. You'd often feel that they've got it all figured. Meanwhile, they really don't have it figured. But through you, they learn. And through imparting advice and care and guidance, they also learn about life in general. So I found a little bit of me, of sage in me, having founded my foundation, Global Maritime Youth. There's a sis Londiwe, I want to be like you, and now I need to sit with that sage bit of me, so that I can be able to offer guidance, assurance, and the knowledge that I've accumulated over the 16 years in my industry. I'm slowly occupying that space. Tabiso. Okay. Oh, lovely. I would assume then that you are around life coaching. I'm not sure. Or you're around coaching, because sage would mostly be people who share a lot of wisdom and want to help other people. And then we have the explorer. These people, guys. I shared a stage with the explorer once. And then not so long ago, it was an event, a psyche event, and it was very interesting because he had been held hostage in, was it Ethiopia? I don't remember. But this is the explorer. To him is someone who just would go off script. Don't fence me in. This is an explorer. This is someone who's quite exciting, quite fearless, and quite daring. These are the kind of people that would tell you that. And then we sat in Kukumfupi just joined. What are the odds that Kuku joins when we're talking about an archetype, which is an explorer archetype? This is the explorer, and Gugu has recently unleashed this in her, being an explorer. So freedom is what I believe she's unleashing. Don't fence me in. Quite exciting, fearless, and daring. She's just summited the Kilimanjaro, and again, I still put my head off Gugu. So yes, Gugu, we're talking about public speaker archetypes. I don't know how many there are. I think there's about 8, and we're almost at the end of them. If you know yourself to be an explorer, then when you get on the stage, your story will be more of that risk taker, that we're sitting on the edge waiting for that next thing, like how did they oh my gosh, really? And then we're sitting like this, so that's the explorer. Often explorers are good storytellers. And often they would share graphics, videos, pictures of themselves in that adventure, and so that they can make their stories more compelling. And I love explorers because you can hear their stories many times and you'd still walk away thinking, oh my gosh, other people are living, and here we are trying to find our feet in safety. All right, so I think with that, I'm not sure how many they were, but I think with that, then we will be able to unpack, as we wrap up, we'll be able to unpack what your primary archetype is and what your secondary archetype is, and then be able to define your voice from what we had previously shared at the beginning. Is it networking? Is it career advancement? Is it social networking that you're seeking out? Or is it just unleashing that talent in you? And then define how you want to show up. What is it that you truly are? Okay, so before, we only have 8 minutes. Before we wrap this up, I really, really want to hear from you what your archetype is. And then before I stop sharing this, and yes, again, guys, you will be sharing 2 archetypes. Before I stop sharing this, you then would understand that what matters is being able to share. Most people call it 3x3 method. I still call it 3x3 methods. And other instances where I would do my own public speaking, customize the talk for a client, I would call it something else. But just defining what your values are. So my values, I know now, having been the hero, the sage, etc., etc. High value, transparency, high energy. That's me. For people like Ngcobo that have held space for me on stage many times, still do, for the longest time, they will know energy is everything to me. Energy is everything to me. Transparency is everything to me. I live my heart on stage all the time. Sharing my story is important to me so that I can be able to make compelling the story. High value, it has to have three key takeoffs, at least minimum 3 key takeoffs. And so with that, I'm able to translate my message more and more. Oceans economy is important to me because that is the advocacy work that I do. Mind space is important to me. Understanding what anchors me. Hence, I shared with you the first slide of the where it all begins. And then public speaking. Can they call me back? Will they call me back? So you're able to clean that up in the end. And always make sure that you connect to convert. But you won't be able to connect to convert if you haven't decided why you want to do public speaking. You can come there, do a presentation, read slide by slide, and when it's time to network, you're not able to close a deal, you're not able to convert. So I want now to stop sharing and hopefully get a feel of how you understand the archetypes to be now and what you think your archetypes are. I'm also going to try to read. Okay, Zintle says she relates to the innocent and the caregiver. Zintle, you're a safe space for your core panelists, you're a safe space for other speakers. And I think that with you, then your message will really be that of advocating for change, your Malalas. Like the other person said, Malala is an innocent archetype. Malala is a caregiver. I also see another question. Be yourself, absolutely. I think I touched on this earlier. Okay, we do only have 5 minutes. I want to touch on the questions that were shared earlier, and maybe I'll be able to touch on 2 because we have 5 minutes only. Okay, we got a question from Karabo. Karabo says, is it mandatory for you to be a good public speaker